Okay, today is July the 9th, 2018, Monday, and we're looking at the National Hurricane Center for the East Coast. This is Tropical Storm Chris, which is currently generating 60-mile-per-hour wind and is currently stationary right here off of the South Carolina coast, or rather the North Carolina coast, right off the Carolinas, right here, stationary. And so this is going to cause some high surf, all that wind, but it does have a forecast to move sort of out to the northeast along the eastern coast of the U.S. However, the people controlling our weather, these terrorists, could re-steer this thing into the U.S. at any time, so that's something to keep in mind. We saw that happen with several different hurricanes, most notably Hurricane Harvey, which was steered to the north at the last minute right into Houston, Texas. And if you want to look up that video, we have it. Just scroll to the to that date. I don't have the date offhand, but it's easy to find. All right, so that is the situation for the East Coast. Let's take a look next at the there's Chris right there. Central pressure of 999 millibar and stationary. Okay, let's go take a look at the West Coast. There's nothing happening on the West Coast in terms of disturbances. Today we have a complete whiteout, and I'm going to show you what's going on. We actually have a westbound developing low pressure system. Look at this. Let's put the grid on. And under normal operating circumstances, under normal conditions, the weather always moves from the west to the east in the northern hemisphere. Always moves from west to east. And look at here, we have a developing low pressure system moving into Arizona, and all of this moisture here is being blown apart right over California. And so we've got the no rain forecast. We've got 97-degree heat here right now. And let's go ahead and look at these other maps. Here's the infrared map, and we can see a pressure wave right here where this area was targeted, and that is superheating this area of moisture. Also, the jets are out spraying very heavily. We've got, like I say, whiteout conditions today. We haven't seen aerosol spraying, the chemtrail spraying this heavy in weeks over the Southern California area. Now here is the southwest rainbow loop. We can see what's happening here. See that shock wave right here. And right down here is also targeting that area as well. So we've got a low pressure system developing. We've got counterclockwise rotation and no rain. Zero rain. We've got heat. We've got just awful amounts of chemtrail spraying. We're gagging on these chemtrails, which are loaded with aluminum. It's no wonder that there is an Alzheimer's explosion, an epidemic of Alzheimer's disease and neurological related diseases because of the toxic chemicals that are being sprayed over our skies here, not only in Southern California, but all over the entire U.S., Alaska, Canada, Mexico, and all over the place. So we've proven, people have proven many times what these chemical aerosols contain. The air filters that are placed outside for a couple of weeks that run non-stop, the filters are taken out of those, the HEPA filters are taken out, taken apart, and the material collected in the filter is then analyzed in a lab on a special electron microscope, a mass spectrometer, which breaks down the elements in the particulate that's caught in the filter. And we find that there are just off the charts amounts of aluminum particulate, and that is the key ingredient in these desiccants, which are sprayed by the jets. These specially equipped jets spray the chemical aerosol, which contains the aluminum desiccant, which maintains low relative humidity conditions. Desiccants remove moisture If you've ever bought a hard drive for a computer, for example, you open up the box and you find that little packet of, they call it getter, but basically it's an aluminum silica, and that absorbs water vapor. So basically what's happening is that the stuff that they're spraying out of the jets is a special, highly refined, very fine, ultra fine nanoparticulate. And so that is sprayed over these moisture fields moving in. And in this case, we have some thunderstorm development. And that is being superheated. We can see the pressure waves here. And also, right in this area, we see an area right here which has been targeted right dead center over Arizona. If we go back to the other map here, we can see what's happening. This water vapor map shows what's happening. We have counterclockwise rotation. So we have a weather system developing right here, a low pressure system. And we can see the thunderstorm development around the periphery of the storm right here, see? And so now for the last 3 days here in Southern California, we've been watching the systematic targeting of these cumulonimbus weather systems. These thunderheads that develop over the mountains have been targeted and superheated. So we've not seen one drop of rain over the last 3 days. The previous 3 days, we should have seen thunderstorms in the mountains and out in the deserts, because there was plenty of thunderheads rising up, rising columns of air, which never materialized. And so I have a playlist on this channel. You've got to see that. I've got numerous examples of how these thunderheads are targeted, and the rising air is disrupted by the microwave transmitter targeting those rising columns of air, and that superheats and disrupts the convection and the convective process, and then we see a total collapse. And you'll see that in the playlist. Look at those videos in that playlist. Very important that everybody see what's going on. Here is the Eastern Pacific. We see a lot of thunderstorm activity down here. None of these are listed as disturbances, but at any time these can develop into hurricanes. All right, that's it.